Overseas now, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has rejected Russia's conditions for a potential peace deal. He says President Putin must stop making unnecessary demands. Zelensky also ruled out the Trump administration's suggestion of the US taking control of Ukraine's nuclear power plants.
And the temporarily occupied Zaporizhia region where there is this NPP, it belongs to Ukraine. And everybody acknowledges that, recognizes it. IAEA recognizes it and all international institutions.
Ukraine officials are to meet their American counterparts in Saudi Arabia for more talks next week. Let's go to Michael Ware, our US analyst. More talks? Are we sort of crab walking to a result here?
Well, I'm not so sure, because it appears more, rather than crab walking, I suspect that Russian President Vladimir Putin is just stalling and trying to drag this thing out, the discussions alone about a ceasefire, so that they can maintain military gains they're making on the ground and perhaps press for more. And the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, has just hosted about 20 European leaders to discuss the security of Ukraine and any potential ceasefire. And he made it very, very clear that Europe doesn't trust Putin, and that unless there are severe consequences put into place, then Europe believes that Russia will continue its aggression. So I'm not sure how much closer we're getting.
Yeah.
Look, Zelensky will accept a ceasefire on almost any terms right now, but if you listen to the Kremlin's readout of the discussion between Putin and American President Donald Trump, the Kremlin says, America agrees with us that we have to look at the root causes of the war, which is Ukraine wanting to join NATO, and that the Americans are much closer to the Russian position than they are to the Ukrainian position, and the Ukrainians and all of Europe are saying the exact opposite.
It feels like Putin's just grinning like a Cheshire cat through all of this, Michael.
Mate, I couldn't agree more. And with all due respect to the American president, I think Putin's playing Trump for a fool. I'd like to think that President Trump is coming to realize that. But, by dragging this thing out, by insisting that, okay, even if we have a ceasefire for 30 days, Ukraine cannot rearm, it cannot, replace soldiers into its military, while we can. And even this discussion about energy infrastructure ceasefire that President Trump is touting.
Well,
what is energy infrastructure? I mean,
that's a good point too. Well, I was talking to I was talking to a Ukrainian MP after that was announced this week, and he basically said, well, that's not as great as it sounds, because we're coming out of winter now anyway, where it's not needed as much. We're through that cold period.
Well, and the flip side is that Russia would potentially benefit more from that anyway, because then they could start without the fear of the Ukrainians attacking their ports and oil refineries, like the Ukrainians just did in the last 24 hours, that the Russian economy may get a boost out of this, energy package or energy protection. So, and now we have this ludicrous idea that America would take ownership of a Russian-occupied Ukrainian nuclear power plant right literally on the front lines of the war. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says that would be the power plant's greatest protection, meaning Russia wouldn't dare attack it if we own it. Zelensky has already said there's no way in the world we're going to let America own it. And Europe used to rely on that power plant for much of its energy supply.
All right. We'll see where that one lands. Yeah, but there's a few moving parts still to go. Michael, we'll see where this is next week and chat to you about it then.